When I asked Dr. Subramanian, he said that we'll provide another occasion for the students to have interaction. As a result, this session has come. We have two components here. First, director will address you, followed by a short duration of cultural program. Before I hand over mic to director, I need to say a few words. This is the 6th episode of CSIR-CLRI Jigyasa, and two people are responsible for the success of CSIR-CLRI Jigyasa. One is our director, Dr. Chandrasekharan, and second one is Mr. C. Mani from Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan. We are only instrumental in translating their ideas, and the kind of support we get from both of them is exceedingly high. As a result, we are able to translate many of the MOU items of Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan and CSIR into a translation. And this particular students' residential program is also mooted by him. In fact, he was telling that students should stay in the campus more than week or 10 to 15 days. Then we found it difficult to organize things, availability of scientists, resources, and all those things. As a pilot level scale, now we launched this one for 5 days based on the inputs from the teachers and the school children, and depending upon our Jigyasa programs availability in future, we may check out. With these few words of introduction, I request Dr. B. Chandrasekharan, Director CSIR-CLRI, to interact with you. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all of you. Dr. Narasimhaswamy, my other colleagues, faculty, and my dear student friends. As Dr. Swamy said, this is not new for us. Now, most of our scientists and research scholars have been tuned to conduct such programs in an exemplary manner. I have absolutely now no doubt about the way these programs are being conducted. And Dr. Swamy also was mentioning that two people have played very important role here, myself and Mr. Mani. I think in some of the reactions, I think most of you are aware that we only played a catalytic role. Of course, for the reactions to take place, just the catalyst alone is not enough or not sufficient. So you need, of course, the reactants. Here in this case, the students and my faculty. I think both are there. And so definitely we would like to play many more such catalytic roles to bring success to some of these programs, what we've been planning. And of course, for the year commencing 2018-19, you must come back, sir. It is our end of our academic program. You were talking about the beginning of 18-19, but then it is more towards not for the events, the end or beginning, but for other aspects of it. We have our annual years starting in April. So we have in the very beginning itself a program that is being organized, of course taking into account your onset of your summer vacations. So we thought that for the student interaction programs, this could be a better period. And of course, I think our faculty must be planning to even have probably the teachers interaction programs. I mean, at a later point of time when all of you are enjoying your vacation, probably some of the faculties can always come back here and have their interaction or orientation towards new techniques and other things which they can keep abreast with. In that aspect, CSIR is fully committed to the Kendriya Vidyalaya, especially. And I have seen many of the students and who participate in this showing their keen interest in learning new things, sometimes even understanding what is happening in our day-to-day life, and it's the principle behind many of these activities. I'm sure there was one candidate from Delhi. He was so keen in pursuing some research-based work and all. I mean, I was also happy, but he's here. He's around? No, not that. He's from Delhi. I'm saying, I mean, this. So when we asked the candidate to come and probably meet the principal, because he was seeking for a transfer to come to Kendriya Vidyalaya CLRI. But ultimately, when we looked at, and he was probably not concentrating more on the basic studies. So what is happening in that process? Though he has a lot of interest in pursuing some research or other based activities, but then that is all the more essential that you also develop a very strong fundamental, your educational, I mean, this itself. So both are essential. So you cannot leave one and then look for my research is more interesting, so let me not concentrate on my studies. Definitely not. So that is your foundation. So you need your foundation, and along with that, as a, I should say this as a co-curricular activity, or even you can even add added value to your curricular activities. So value added curricular activity, I must say, your experience, whatever you undergo for a week or so here. And it's how long now? It's only yesterday, so they have been interacting. So definitely you must have had only just a glimpse of it. Probably a couple of more days are there for you. I'm sure you would thoroughly enjoy your stay here, both in terms of intellectual and in all other aspects as well. So we would definitely like to host you, and your stay here, we would like to keep it memorable as possible. And should there be any shortfall, do let us know, and we can definitely improve upon. And apart from that, the activities, I think they have listed about more than 15 or 16 activities with which members probably. In my opinion, even if you could mix it among the schools, I think it should probably make it in that. Of course, except you have more students. Otherwise, one must say that it must be one student from each school to be in one of activity. That way, at least, it can even build cross, your contact and other things. That I don't know how you have formulated. You have done it that way. Good. So, right. That's why I said our people also definitely think a lot of such this. But only thing is, I wish my other scientific fraternity also interact that way with a cross discipline for their future R&D programs. In fact, that should definitely help. When students come back and then give some ideas. I think I must admit here that we are even expecting or seeking some kind of so can we do this? This is the problem which I think it's a common problem which needs an R&D solution. You can even pose such challenges and look for our scientists, how they interact, and if you find something interesting to be taken up as a lead, you can even look at it for your future. This where you could work on that as a topic, with which so that the community could benefit out of it. So we are quite open to receive such ideas from you. So which can, who knows, that can even totally transform the way some of our, all of us live. We don't. So many of them we may not even fantasize. This is how it is going to be. And who thought that our mobile technology would become so much popular in the last 15 years, the way it is now. We don't know now where it would go in future as well. And people now no longer talk about what I should say, your tabs or even computers. Everything has come to your mobile computing. People talk about mobile computing. And there are so many things that's happening. And there are applications that can assist the farmers today. There are some of them that can even assist people who go on several other aspects, like say fishermen and other things, where they can take their weather forecast can be predicted, and then it can be communicated to them much effectively. There's so many things. All it requires very simple coordination, and then putting some of these efforts. I myself have seen some of the bright school children who even contribute some of developing some of the apps that can help some of the needy people. Many occasions, age is not a criteria, as long as you have willingness to contribute to the society. If you feel that R&D as one of the tools to reach out some of the issues that are plagued, and I keep telling to many of our young children that we are almost 50% of our population is under 35, and when we talk about it, I think there are countries where the average life, here it is somewhere around 29, whereas it is for Japan it is somewhere around 37, and China it is somewhere around 32, something like that. So why we say that? One side we have very large younger generation, so that means there are great challenges as well, great opportunity for all the younger generation to contribute to the growth. At the same time, it also poses challenges that how do we enhance our life expectancy as well. Especially many of you might be still looking at what kind of health index our country has. There are so much of index. If you go back, and what is our educational level compared to some other countries, and where do we, and what is our S&T contributions vis-a-vis the expenditure, and I think many of them are now available in the public domain. We all can get to view where do we stand. And the great news is, in the last, I think I must say about 7 or 8 years, the government has been focusing on the younger children, especially the programs instituted by Department of Science and Technology, to cutting across almost all the schools, school toppers, somewhere or other being linked to higher educations, leading to research, a support for them. So, and I think that is continuing now even with the present government as well. So that itself shows to indicate the amount of importance that is given for enhancing the S&T capabilities among the young minds. I think so. That is absolutely, it is unquestionable. The government is very keen on doing these programs, and it is with that interest CSIR has taken up the Jigyasa, where we are inculcating the practice of asking questions, and why and how, and which can be answered by many of our fellow scientists who can. In fact, there were, I still remember a couple of years back when Dr. Ramasamy was around, and somebody was talking about a certain question, and he said, if you ask me honestly, I don't have an answer, but I can try to explain what is happening around. Honestly, for all the questions, there need not be an answer, or there may not be an answer, or probably we may not be able to answer. It may be there, but at the same time, and it could be explained, and why, or how to go about, how to arrive at certain conclusions for that. and that is absolutely fine. And I don't want to take much of your time. Of course, many of you might have left your experiments also, I'm sure. And I thought, if I'm around, maybe I'm around tomorrow till afternoon, but then afterwards I'm out of city. But definitely, I can definitely get the feedback from my colleagues and how you felt. And I once again wish every one of you a bright career after this, because the life only begins now for you, where you started to feel that you are part of certain performing act. So it's only a beginning, and I'm sure, and this beginning is good, and which will continue to prosper. Thank you all for the opportunity.